The trail today passes through Kennedy Meadows and then through an equestrian area of sorts where people come and they camp with their horses and such. And then it starts climbing, starts with the granite wall up to Relief Reservoir, which is fairly exposed. So you want to do that early. Then it climbs again to Sheep Camp. Sheep Camp's about the halfway point. It's a good place to camp if you don't have the legs or don't have the lungs to go all the way to Emigrant. Then it meanders to Lunch Meadow, and then up and over Mosquito Pass, and then you reach Emigrant. I'm getting closer to the reservoir. It's just over that rise there. Along the trail you'll find some old mining equipment sometimes. 2 hours in, and I'm finally at the reservoir. It's only about 10 o'clock. Heat-wise, it's not so bad. So I'm heading up and to the left there, and that'll probably take me another 2 hours to get to. Overall today, it's probably about an 8 or 9 hour hike. I'm at the first major water crossing. Decided not to stop and get more water. I may regret that decision. This is probably the best place to get water for a while, but there's some small trickles up ahead. But I just I think I've been stopping too much. I feel like I need to make a little better time, and I don't want to spend 15 minutes here pumping water. So we'll see how that goes. I know this trail pretty well. I usually do stop there for water, but it's pretty steep going up ahead, and I've probably still have 50 ounces, and I don't want to fill up any more, carry all that extra weight up this climb. It's a brutal climb, narrow, steep, exposed at the top. Up and up and up. A friend of mine, his girlfriend, once called this the Death March. And suffice it to say, they've never done it again. They came up here on my recommendation one year. First time I came in here, I suffered from heat exhaustion and had to turn around. Well, I am now at that spot that I chose to turn around. around 6:30. I sent my wife the message that I was returning to the trailhead. I hung out a little bit, ate, and then I stumbled my way back to the trailhead, or back to that Bithy rock. I'm 3.5 hours in. So I'm making a little bit better time than I expected. I was gonna stop and eat lunch here, but it's only 11:30, so I'm gonna eat a little bit, get some water, and then keep going. The next major landmark is Sheep Camp. Between here and there is sort of a no man's land. So I'm in the no man's land between my turnaround spot and Sheep Camp. It's pretty much rolling terrain, and it just seems to take forever. So it's 12:30, and decided to take a break, have some lunch. I'm not feeling terrible. I'm not feeling as good as I was the last time I was here, but I'm doing okay. So I think Sheep Camp is probably another hour away, and then Lunch Meadow is about 45 minutes past that, and then I've got Mosquito Pass, which is probably another 45 minutes to an hour past that, and then it's all downhill to the lake. It's 1:15. I'm just now getting to the base of the pass. It'll take me to Sheep Camp. I'm way behind schedule. That's what I have to climb to get to Sheep Camp, and hopefully it doesn't take more than 30 minutes. Weather's still pretty good. This area has a habit of accumulating clouds and thunderstorms, but today looks like it's a pretty good day so far. Finally at the top. Sheep Camp is right around the corner here. It's 1:30, which means it's taken me 5.5 hours to get up here. I consider this the halfway point, even though it's 7 miles in. From an effort standpoint, you know, this is the hump. So everything past this is gravy. I'm still feeling okay. I'm not getting any pain in my back. My leg, I got a little pain in my leg, but so far so good. I'm tired. I'm out of shape. But if I've made it here, I'm pretty confident I can make it all the way to Emigrant, barring a fall or anything of that. And here we are, Sheep Camp, and it's not occupied. Huh, interesting. The Emigrant was pioneered by sheep herders, and they would you know, in the summers, they would, I don't know if you would say range, but pasture their sheep in the Emigrant Wilderness. And So a lot of the fishing that we have and a lot of the lakes that we have are due to their efforts, because they recognized early on that a lot of the lakes here, they don't stay full year round. So what they did is they created dams, and so there are dams all over the Emigrant, and because of the dams, there's self-sustaining populations of fish. Lunch Meadow. I presume it's called that because it takes about 6 hours to get here. So if you left at first light, you would be here at lunchtime. I'm going to be hiking up along the left. Then I'll get to a point where there's a fork. One goes up over Brown Bear Pass, which is out that way to the left. The other goes over Mosquito Pass, which is over to the right. And I'm gonna go over Mosquito Pass, and it is it's well named. But this is one of the more beautiful areas of the hike. I mean, it's just amazing here. I'm so happy to be able to make it up here again. It's hopper time. Finally at the creek crossing. I'll probably fill up on water here, and then I'm heading that way. That's Brown Bear Pass over there, just to the left. Let's see, right about there. I've gone ahead and pumped some water. It looks like I planned my water consumption perfectly. I came in with 64 ounces, and when I went to pump, I had about 10 ounces left. So I pumped about 40, and that should get me up and over to the lake. I think it should only be about 2.5 hours to the lake from here, so I'm getting excited. Starting to get to the top of the pass. As you can see, it's just one broad saddle, and then it's just downhill to the lake. I'm nearly down. The mosquitoes have been horrendous. I've got easily 30 bites on my back, despite putting on bug spray. The lake is just the other side of this meadow. Well, I'm finally here. I need to go see if my preferred camping spot is available. The mosquito situation is just ridiculous, but it's a known quantity. Knew that was going to be the case, coming this time of year. But hopefully I'll get into some big fish. I heard on the way down that the big fish were in the inlet. this place, you know, one or 2 days can matter, and hopefully they're still there, and hopefully I can get into some. I'm only going to spend 1 day here. Well, not even a day. I'm going to spend 1 night, fish in the morning, and then head out. This is my first view of the lake. And here's my preferred camping spot. And it is free. Wow, this is ridiculous. I don't know if you can see this, but the mosquitoes are just ridiculous, and they're getting in my net. Look at that. I've been bit so many times, I'm having an allergic reaction. And the bug spray that I decided to bring, which is Pickardin, this stuff doesn't work. If you spray it and rub it on your skin, it works for like an hour. But if you spray it on your clothes or anything, it's not like DEET, right? DEET basically creates like this invisible, impenetrable force field around you. No, this doesn't. The bugs land and then they take off, and the ones that this is just bad. I didn't think the mosquitoes could get any worse than they were last year, or 2 years ago. But they definitely are. Don't know what I was thinking coming out here without DEET. So I'm sitting here facing the wind, which keeps the mosquitoes down a bit. Looking out on an area that I call the flats. It's basically when the water's a little bit higher, there's low grass here. When the water's a little bit higher, the fish will move up into this grass and they'll feed. I generally check this area out before I fish the inlet. You can see why I call it the flats. And the fish will come up right in that grass. There's the inlet, and the big fish will cruise around in the inlet as well. And there's some grassy ponds over there, and when the water's high enough and the fish can get in there, they'll sit there as well. I'm gonna walk the bank up into that rock, see if I can see any fish. The sun's down and there's a ripple on the water, and it's gonna make spotting fish a little difficult. And then I may just throw some prospecting casts in there and then head down this way. I was just about to give up when this guy swam by, and it's really hard to see anything, but I saw his shadow and was able to get him in. Sitting on my breakfast rock here, getting ready to eat dinner, hoping that the wind stays up so that it blows all the mosquitoes behind me. I've never seen it this bad, and I am without DEET. Fortunately, I'm only going to be here in the morning. And here's the view from my breakfast rock, hence the reason it's my breakfast rock. My camp's just right up there. So I typically eat pretty minimalist. I don't have a stove. Everything I eat is cold. So I've got crackers. So crackers, basically cheese and crackers, salami and prosciutto. That's dinner. I've got prunes, which are sort of my on-the-trail snack sometimes. Pop-Tarts for lunch. Blueberry unfrosted Pop-Tarts, of course. Ancient grains, so Costco's granola cereal for breakfast. Crowbar meal for on the trail. cracked nut butter for on the trail. This stuff is great. Weight to calorie wise, it's what? It's a 3-ounce. It's a 3-ounce container, and there's 600 calories in there, and I forget how much it weighs, but I mean it's comparable. It's comparable to this. And then protein powder, and I drink protein powder in the morning. Jeez Louise. I drink protein powder in the morning and in the evening. The reason I do that is because, you know, when you're up here at altitude and you're working as hard as I've been working, your body's, you know, metabolizing itself to perform. And protein is anti-catabolic, which basically means it's anti-wasting. So I have a whey protein in the morning and a whey casein mixture in the evening, you know, which will help me recover and help me hike better. And I've got some almonds. Forgot I had those, so that's good. That's nice to see. Another thing about protein is that it stokes your metabolism. So if you eat protein before you go to bed, you'll sleep warmer than if you hadn't eaten it.